Held up after you got diesel. Yeah.
So let's finish this up. Yesterday we were working on example 3, and this second equation that I'm pointing at with the red arrow, you'll remember that that one was given to us in the original system. So that was the oddity, is that one of the equations already was knocked down just to two variables. So then we mimicked that by taking the top equation and the bottom equation and multiplying them by like 2 and 3 or something like that. And then what that created for us was another 2 by 2, I believe. Am I saying this correct? Yes. So then we created the one with the yellow arrow pointing at it, right? So the red one was given, and then we followed suit and created the yellow. So are we all caught up to yesterday? Okay. So remember, if one of your equations comes at you and it's already missing a variable, then you follow suit and kill the same variable again using the two remaining equations. Any questions about that? Okay, so let's make this official and finish this. So that knocked us down to this 2 by 2 system, and then we have to just solve it like an Algebra 1 student. Which variable would be easier for us to kill? The y's for sure, 100%. Do you guys know what 5 and 17 could both be made into? By the way, I want to show you a trick real quick. This is just kind of a side note, but if I had something like 23x minus 13y equals like -4 and 15x plus, I don't know, 27y equals 11. Just making this up. If we come across a system like this, which we will, and I mean, like even I have no idea what 15 and 23 can both be made into. I have no idea what 13 and 27 can both be made into. The trick to these, when you get numbers that you're more uncomfortable with, is just to pick a variable that you want to kill and multiply the equations by each other. So I personally would kill the y's in an example like this. And what I'm trying to say is this: I would just multiply the top equation by 27 and the bottom equation by 13. I don't care what 27 times -13 is, and I don't care what 13 times 27 is, but what I do know is that they're going to be the same, right? So if you come up against a situation where the numbers are outside your comfort zone, just multiply them crisscrossy by each other. It may not always be the most efficient way to do it. Like you might not be finding the smallest number that would have worked, but any number will work. So that's a trick for you to put in your back pocket, okay? In this case, though, I think since we're all in high school that we have no issues understanding that 11 and 2 can both be made into 22. So the math is actually really simple on this one. If I just multiply the top equation by 2 and the bottom equation by 11, then I'm right as rain. Here we go. So what's my new top equation going to be? Mm-hmm. Plus
34. Yeah.
equals -68. And then the bottom equation?
2y
Mm-hmm.
is 55z
Mm-hmm.
equals 110.
Mm-hmm. And now we've just created exactly what we wanted. Remember, that's always like your destination is to make that system a fluffer puffer. Um, so we're good. Now it's just time to solve it out. So when we add the top equation to the bottom equation, the y's cancel. How many z's do we get? -21. And then what's -68 plus 110? +42. And then the math checks out. If we divide both sides by -21, look at me showing my work, then we get z equals -2. So we're at that point, we're at the bottom of the problem now where we can say, okay, we've found 1/3 of the puzzle solutions, right? So the answer is blank, blank, -2. And where we go from here, this is not like a express yourself free for all. Like there's a very structured way to do this. Where do we have to go with the -2?
2, 1, 2.
Into one of the two variable equations, right? So, I mean, you could go to any four of the equations on the board. As I say all the time, I would wonder about your mental stability maybe if you chose one of those, because why pick the bigger numbers, right? They're equivalent to these nicer, smaller ones over here. I would say that 100 people out of 100 would choose that, the one I just circled. So when we solve it, it's going to say 2y minus 5 blank equals 10. And in that blank is going to go my negative 2. And then you math. So you get 2y plus 10 equals 10. So 2y equals 0. So y then equals 0. So we can complete the second piece of the puzzle by putting 0 in place of the y. And now it's time to storm the castle. And remember that at this point, you want to use now a 3-variable equation. And since I don't, never mind, I do have the original problem here. Which one are you guys more attracted to, the original top one or the original bottom one? Obviously, the middle one's out, right? It does not have what we want. It doesn't have an x to ever give us. Top one's fine, sure. So let's take the top equation, and we're just going to sub in what we know. So the top equation said negative 2x minus blank, that's where y used to be, plus 3 blank, that's where z used to be, equals negative 8. And then you just plug and chug, as my teachers used to say. So we're going to put a 0 in place of the y, which is silly. And then we're going to put a negative 2 in place of the z. And then we're going to math. So we wind up with negative 2x minus 6 equals negative 8. The middle term, not the middle, but the minus 0 is pretty well pointless. And then you add 6, get negative 2x equals negative 2. And then you divide and get x equals 1. And that's it. And the puzzle is complete. So we figured out that the 3 things given in the problem, the 3 planes, will cross at the point right 1, up 0, and then back towards me 2. Like towards me literally in space. Okay. Any questions about that? Right. So I'm going to hand out assignment 21. Like I said, today you have 2 options. There is no third option. I want you either working on this assignment or you may work on the awesome word search for the remainder of the time. It's up to you. There's a ton of words. They all are findable. I know it because I've done this word search. I did it a couple of years in a row and then just stopped. But I just wanted to verify that they're all there. There's a lot.